All right, listen to me really quick. This is a very simple game. This will not be a very long video, but I do want to explain how the game works and then a very simple strategy to take advantage of this game. Because at the end of the day, the vast majority of people are going to lose money, you and I included in that. Like, we probably would lose money if we didn't have an approach that manages risk to some degree. And I think this approach will do so with in the most simplistic way. We are not going to have to guess when the top is, when the bottom is. We don't have to sit around and follow coins, day trading, watching trending stuff, following people on Twitter. Oh, who's posting this? Who's posting that? We don't have to do any of that stuff. That's what the strategy is all about. And this really comes off the back of a penny stock strategy that I had back in 2019 when I turned less than $300 into over $50,000 in 18 months trading this exact way. Now, for full transparency, I then proceeded to lose a large amount of that money in the preceding, or I guess the following bear market. The bear market that came after that. I just didn't know any better. Simple as that. I think we can take the lessons that I've learned from that, or I can take those lessons, I can put them into video format and we can talk about it so that if you're looking at this space right now, looking at crypto, you're looking at altcoins, you're looking at meme coins, you understand what you're playing with, because you're playing with fire, but doesn't mean that you can't handle it. You can certainly handle it. So let's get into it. Right now, you are here because you're interested in crypto, altcoins, meme coins, whatever, and you're probably caught up to some degree in the hype. They've been going crazy. Some crazy meme coins have been going, chill guy, this, that, all this stuff. And you're asking yourself, is there a way to get into these early? Is there a way to know when they're going to how they're going to keep going, how much there is to the upside here? And the reality is, I'm going to tell you right now, there is absolutely not a way to know. You don't know. I don't know. The guy posting about the next thing doesn't fucking know. Now, he may have a better idea because he may have more influence, potentially, which we'll talk about in a second, but we don't know. And so if we can unpack that and get to the point of like being okay with that, not knowing, like you don't know, you simply don't know. It's a game of probabilities. We can center ourselves and ground ourselves with a strategy I think makes a lot of sense. There's a million ways to skin the cat. This is not a one-size-fits-all. Like, you can obviously play momentum. You can day trade crypto. You can short, although not very easy to do in the US, depending upon what you're looking at. This is a way I think that will minimize risk, offer very nice upside potential, and offer a lot of time because you won't need to sit there and follow everything so closely. You can kind of sit back and let this stuff just play out. Simple. The other day, I have no interest in telling you the coins I buy, this, that, and you don't have to believe me. You don't have to. You can say, fuck this guy, who cares? It doesn't matter. It's really irrelevant. If you're interested in the approach, you'll listen to it. If you're not, then you're not. I was looking at a couple coins with this exact strategy, and as I sit right now, they're up over 50% each. The account's up over 100%, a couple different coins, and I'm sitting back saying, like this actually does work. And I'm not even playing with large money. This is just a very simplistic approach that I am doing in the meantime, while we have a bull market in crypto on the side from what I'm mainly focused on. So let's talk about the game. You're probably coming in here. You look at this stuff right here, more coin market cap, and you go, oh my gosh, Bitcoin, all these different coins. You look at the big guys and you're saying, okay, well, great. All the big guys, they're up a lot. I want to find the best ones that are super cheap, super low market cap, that are going to go crazy. And what I would recommend you stay away from, trending coins. I recommend you stay away from the super high market caps if you're looking for the large returns, because you're just not going to get them. You're not going to get 500% returns on the top 5 market cap coins. Most likely, if you are, you would have to be buying the bottoms of the bear market to now, or to, wherever the top of the bull market is. And the chances are you already missed out on that. Like, if you did that, you would be up 5x on Bitcoin. You'd be up 5, 10x on Solana. Like, yeah, but you didn't. Doesn't mean there's not opportunity. There is absolutely opportunity. There's a million coins out there nowadays. And so a lot of them fly under the radar. And that's what we're looking for, okay? So what we end up doing is, for example, I'll go in and I'll jump into like Bitcoin really quick. Or, I'll pull up Dogecoin. It's a good example because Doge is actually a very good example for this situation. What we end up doing is we will see charts that look like this, okay? And our chart on Doge, for example, looks like this, and we're getting hyped about this thing up in here. People are telling us, yo, Doge, and this is Doge could be anything. It could be the chill guy. It could be fucking any coin that's getting hyped right now, okay? All the pump and dumps. Doge this, Doge that, or whatever the coin is. And we're coming in and seeing it. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. It's up here, but it could go to, a fucking $1 or $2, and I can make 3x on my trade. The problem is that the big dogs are in from here. Okay? And when I say the big dogs are in from here, I mean the people that are pumping the coins. Now, are they pumping it on purpose? You could say yes and no. They do a really good job of walking the fine line, because it is a fine line to walk between legal and illegal. If you are blatantly pumping and dumping coins, that could be illegal, depending upon how you're doing so. If you are coming onto your social media and saying, yeah, I am buying this coin, I don't recommend you do, it's not financial advice, well, you're kind of covering your ass to some degree. So if you have a big enough following, what you can end up doing is you can end up driving all the volume because of your following on these thinly traded coins. Now, Doge is not super thinly traded, but you could do so on a smaller one. You can drive all the volume on these thinly traded coins. So you're in here. Now you're sitting back already up 250%, and you could be dumping your load legitimately into all of your followers' mouths. Like, I'm not even like that's literally what you're doing. You could. And that's what is happening all the time. You see all the pump and dumps. You see the rug pulls. That's what happens. And so the strategy is we don't want to fuck with this shit. We don't want to fuck with any of this stuff up here. We don't want this. We don't. It's not good. Why? Because it's already pumped. Could it go more? Absolutely could. Absolutely could. Totally could. But again, from a risk management perspective, do we want to be thinking about, oh, I could make more, but now my downside in the case of a rug pull or the bear market or the bull market ending, my downside is going to be an immediate. Like, this will come right back to consolidation. Immediately, I'm going to be down 65%. Like, do I want that? Do I want that risk? I would say that you probably don't. And so the strategy in a nutshell, and I have 3 examples now I'm going to talk about. And these are not like buy them now, but these are examples of charts that I think are interesting. The strategy in a nutshell is avoid shit like this. Like, run away. Don't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Okay? If you're looking at the altcoin space, don't touch it with a 10-foot pole. You don't need this shit, because there will inevitably, if the bull market continues, be another pump. So the goal is to position yourself in something that is relatively cheap, consolidating, or low in price before a pump. Do we know? This is the biggest, most important part, because everyone questions, well, how do you know? You do not know. There could be some signs. You could see some volume coming in, this, that, maybe. But at the end of the day, you and I do not know the next one. We cannot create the volume out of thin air. We are not talking to our following. We're not making fucking hype videos, or maybe you are, but if you're not going to create the attention, the hype, and drive the volume to the coin, if you're not going to do that, if you can't do that, then you have to play the game, or you don't have to, but then you should be playing the game where you're managing your risk to a way where you're losing less than the opportunity of upside could be. When these things go and they spike up substantially, and when we look at these bigger picture timeframes and you're saying, okay, well, Doge consolidates and spends most of its time, or it spent most of its time in here, we are now well above the top of that range. Chances are it will eventually come back and consolidate at some point in the future. We want to avoid the potential of that. We want to be looking at it and saying, can we find a way to buy it in here? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the game. So Go to CoinMarketCap if you're looking for ideas. And what I do is I just go down, I go to market cap and I sort by smaller market caps. And here where you're going to have, numbers 100 through whatever. And what you can do, just simply put, and you can go through, there's a million things you don't have to do this way. You can go a million other ways. There's a million coins out there. I just sort that way because I want to look for smaller market cap coins, not the super large caps out there. But I don't really want to look for the tiny ones that are just brand new. I want to look for something that's been around for a while. I mean, by at least a couple of years. Ideally been through a bull market or two. Sometimes you'll see them, sometimes you won't. But the idea here is, I think, very simple. So as I'm scrolling through, I wrote a couple things down that I saw. Neo is an example of one that I just looked up before that I thought made some sense. So here's the chart, right? Go to the bigger picture time frames. Go to the all-time on this chart. You have two bull markets to look back on Neo, okay? You have this bull market back in 2017, 2018. You have the bull market in 2021, okay? 2020 and 2021. You see two spikes. One spike gets you to 200 pretty much, and the other spike gets you to 140. But what you then see is you see these long, drawn-out consolidations, okay? And what I'm looking at right now is that we are still, relatively speaking, in a long, drawn-out consolidation. It's currently at $13.70. The high of the last bull market was 141. The one before that was 200. If we do the math on this spike game, even if we don't get back to $100, it's at 13. If it went to 60, that's a crushing move. Like, that's awesome. If you buy it at 60, maybe it goes to 140, so maybe it doubles, but from 60 back down to the consolidation, which is down around 10 or even lower at times, you're going to be down a fuck ton. So again, we're looking at these, and we don't want, like when you broaden the chart out, big picture, we don't want to buy it when it's up a lot. We want to look at it, it's nice and calm, quiet, and like you pretty much look at the chart and say, okay, I see big spikes and I see essentially a flatlining, bottomed out chart. And I'm looking for the bottomed out, flatlining move. Those are the ones to look at because if the bull market continues, what's going to potentially happen here? Do we know it's going to be on Neo? No idea. But what could happen here? Money comes out of the large caps or it comes out of other pump and dumps and it rolls back in and people say, where can I put my money now? Oh, this stock, or in this case, this coin hasn't pumped. Well, let's pump it. And so the big guys with the influence will play the same exact game, rinse and repeat, position themselves, then talk about it. Position themselves, talk about it. Dump into your mouth when you're getting all excited about it. When all their followers are finding out, boom, they make their good money. They wipe their hands. They find the next one. Position themselves. Talk about it. They're in fucking low. You buy high. You are their exit liquidity. You don't want to be their exit liquidity. You want to be the people who are in before and selling into the dumbasses. That's how you want to play the game. If you can't influence the market, which again, legally, we can, right? If you can't do that, then this is a much better way and a much better approach, okay? So there is this. I got two more. Tezos, I think was what it was the name. Yeah. Tezos, XTZ, whatever it's called. Same chart, same idea. Big picture. Go to the all-time chart. Boom. We have data going back at least 4 or 5 years. We see the spike back in the prior bull market. It goes all the way up to 840. It's at 120 right now. It got dumped. It's been sitting around $1 or just below for a long time. Quietly. No one's here. It's nice and quiet. Chilling. No one's here. Bitcoin's all-time highs. Other coins pumping and dumping. This thing, quiet. This is an idea of a situation to potentially be in. Now, I'm not buying XTZ right now, but this is the type of chart that I would be looking for. Do I know it's going to pump? I have no idea. No idea. That's not the point of this video. It's not. No idea. And then the other one that I want to pull up on TradingView was SUKU. Suku? I don't know how you say it. Whatever. Same idea. Prior spikes, you even have a spike from earlier this year. But what am I looking for? Bigger picture chart here to show you guys kind of on TradingView's perspective. See this area? Well, there are some spikes in there, some pumps, some dumps. There's even one right now going on. But this, now right now it's already kind of pumping up a little bit. So maybe I would say avoid this one because it's out of the consolidation range. But this is a range to say, yeah, I'll happily be looking at this guy here because just even earlier this year when Bitcoin made its all-time high push, it went from all the way down here at 5 cents all the way up to 30 cents. Do the math on that. What's that move? 500% move. And that was Bitcoin making a barely making an all-time high. Now, do we know it's going to do it again? No, we don't know. We have no idea. I have no idea if this is going to go. I have no idea if the other examples I show are going to go. I have no idea. But what I do know is that my downside risk here is substantially lower than if I'm buying the spikes. If I'm buying into the Doge situation, and Doge, if the bull market continues, could absolutely go higher. If you are still stuck on the point that, like, this guy has fucking no idea what he's talking about, these are all going to go higher, I don't give a shit. I don't care. It probably will. If the bull market continues, I probably can see Doge going higher, and maybe it goes a lot higher. But we're talking about managing the risk, and would you rather put yourself in a position where if it doesn't go higher and the bull is over, or if people just rotate out of Doge into a cheaper name, right? Well, then your downside risk could be nice, like this, versus if you're buying something that's already down here that's barely been moving, and then money starts flowing into it because it's cheap, or it gets pumped from somebody else with more influence, you could be the guy selling into this move. You could literally be the guy selling into this move, locking in your gains at 100%, 200%, 300%. Minimal risk. That's the point. Now, why this also is interesting is because if you simply position some funds evenly across a couple of names and you get a pump and it goes 300%, 500%, that wipes out a bunch of losers that could even go to zero. Now, will they all go to zero? No. If you're buying stuff that's been around for a while, chances of it going to zero are very low, but you could get rugged on some. And so all you need is a couple big winners, which is not that in crypto. This is not that crazy to get a couple 100% move. You get a couple moves of 300% plus. You can then have a shit ton of losses and still be profitable. That's the whole point. Because I'd rather not see people taking or trying to hit these things and see how far they can go and jumping in after they've spiked so much. I mean, it's just, in my view, it's common sense. Like, buy it after it's done this, or buy it when it's quiet. I prefer to buy it when it's quiet. Now, some of these coins may never pump. They may never pump. Bull market could be over. That's the risk you got to take. But at least your risk is lower than buying up here, where your downside is like 80, 90% in some situations, maybe more. I hope that made some sense. If it did, cool. If not, you're probably not watching anymore. Thanks so much for watching. If you're still here, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.